Okay, welcome to the first episode of I don't know what you call it, but we're just here thinking that I should do some videos like tutorial videos. Actually not really tutorial, it's just like I'm just sharing my experience, my opinion on some of the fishing stuff in Singapore, as well as what I learned and what some of the people have shared with me in Japan or in other countries when I fish in. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, because in this series there's going to be a few episodes. So I actually came out with a few topics that we're going to talk about, and I don't know if the frequency is good, because we try to do it outdoor, because since it's a fishing thing, then we try not to like stay in the indoor, and I have all my like fishing stuff in my car, so it's easier for me to like show and tell and take out everything that I need to show you. So we're gonna come up with a few episodes. We categorize it in like 3 episodes. We're gonna talk about Paypond fishing in Singapore, okay, general fishing everywhere in terms of like tackle stuff and everything, like fishing line, rods, reels and all those things. Then we're gonna talk about lure fishing in Singapore also, and the lure fishing in overseas, what's the difference. So in today's episode, the first episode, we're gonna talk about Paypond fishing. Okay, so why Paypond fishing first? Because I realized that I'm getting a lot of hits on Paypond fishing, and many of you like the video that we did in the 125 fishing and Ocean Kelong fishing. So some of you may be wondering like, why did I not take videos in other fishing ponds? I prefer these 2 fishing ponds because I don't like to wait too long for fishes. Okay, that's all I can say. I don't wish to pay too much, or I don't wish to like fish like many hours. Normally I do like 2 to 3 hours and that's it. I don't have much time, still need to go back to work. Okay, so and it's not easy to take Paypond fishing videos, because there must be fish no video. Okay, so there's still some failed attempts here and there. Okay, so let's go. Okay, when we talk about pond fishing rig, okay, for Paypond fishing, right, what we're going to share about today is what are some of the rods and reels and tackle setup that we use. So basically, either a spinning or bait casting setup. I'm not going to focus that much on that. So some people like bait casting, some people like spinning. For me, I'm just a bait casting guy. I hardly use spinning, and but the most important thing I feel is that in Paypond fishing, right, if the pond is small, try not to use a too long rod. Okay, because if the pond is small, if you use a long rod, it's going to be very uncomfortable and it's very difficult to get to the right spot. If like you need to pitch, right, because the pond is small, you don't really need to do a very strong, heavy overhead cast, you know, to get distance. You just need to hit on the right spot. Because in Payponds, right, there's a lot of spots. You know, there's a lot of places where the fish hide. One of the common places that the fish hide is really near the net that they release, or near shelters, or near the sides, or even like if there's some structure or some holes in the pond, in the structure. When you spin, sometimes your split shot, you feel that you hit something. Yeah, if there's a structure or there's a hole, most likely there's a fish. So we try to go with rods that's about 5 feet to 6 feet. We try not to exceed 6 feet. You know, 6 feet 3 is still fine, but if you go for like 6 feet 6, 6 feet 9 or 7 feet, it's very long. Those rods are more for like the Pasir Ris main pond. Okay, in Singapore, the biggest pond for pond fishing, okay, Paypond, you know, you pay to fish for salt water, right, it's actually Pasir Ris pond. So at that pond, yes, sometimes you need to cast very far, sometimes it's very near, but of course at that pond you can cast. But in many other Payponds, right, you can't. You know, the pond is too small, and you cast, by the time you cast, you already hit the person fishing opposite, so it's quite stupid to do that. So go with a shorter rod so that you enjoy. Anyway, again, I'm going to focus, it's just my opinion, and if you like the video, hit the subscribe button, like the video. If you don't like, then just switch it off, okay, because we're just sharing our opinions and our experience. There's no right or wrong here, okay. So some of the rods that we use. Okay, so this is some of the rods that we use. For bait casting, I choose to use the Shimano Aldebaran. Actually, there's a reason why I use Shimano Aldebaran. It's an expensive reel, this Aldebaran BFS. Anyway, I really abuse it so much that I can see so much stain on it. But I did wash it every time, just that I really use it so much. I think it's time to scrap it, okay? So why did I use this? Because this is a BFS pitching reel. So basically, when I go for pond fishing, right, I want to pitch it to the right spot. I don't really need to cast, because the ponds that I fish is relatively small. Like say the only biggest pond that you need to cast is like the Pasir Ris main pond. So we cast to the spot, we pitch them. That's why I use the BFS, and I like to be in the middle, a bit of fun here and there. I'm using the 10-pound Jerry Brown line, which you can get at our online shop also, www.redtackle.com. We ship worldwide. For Singapore, I think that $35 or $50 there's a free shipping. So some of the rigs that we use, so now you know why I have to do it outdoor in my car, right? Because everything is here. It's so easy. Okay, so this is some of the hooks that I use. I don't know if you can see it. I prefer, you can use a normal J hook. This is a bit of circle hook. Some people will say circle hook cannot strike, but this is not a full circle hook, and I still strike and I don't lose my fishes. This is not really a full circle. This is just a gamakatsu kind of circle hook. They call it the Matsu hooks. Don't know if is it circle hook in translation, but anyway, I use this. I think it's a size 20. It's a small one. Then there will be a leader. Okay, so leader is very important. So let me share a bit of the leader. So leader can be like 20 pound, 30 pound, 40 pound, 50 pound. Why did I say 20 pounds? Some places the water is too clear or the fish are very spooky. 20 pound catch you more fish. Some places you don't really care. Then I use like 40 pound because some places have grouper or big groupers or big snappers. It's normally like to pull me into the structures. So I want to pull them out. Okay, everybody has their own idea in fishing. Some people want to have fun. Some people use light tackle. You know, for me, I'm just sharing this because I just want to land the fish. Okay, I want to land the fish. I want to have fun at the same time. So I prefer something in the middle, not too heavy, not too light. Then I will use a split shot. Okay, so let me roughly explain to you about the split shot. Okay, so leaders, that's all, like 20, 30, 40 is up to you. You know, I'll go for like 30 to 40. Then if the pond water is too clear on that day, I use 20. Okay, hooks also I prefer a smaller hook, not too small. This is a size 20 gamma. It's not like, it's maybe like 20 cents or 50 cents max. I don't go too big because some ponds the fishes are spooky. Some ponds too big, right? The fish you cannot hook up the fish. For example, if they let go golden pomfret, kimchio, you cannot hook the kimchio because the hook is too big. So sometimes for kimchio I even change to even smaller than this. Then some hooks too big, right? It's very hard to hook up or you lost the action or something. But this is just my personal preference. I don't use too big hooks basically. Then I will go with a shiver. So I don't know if you can see this. Anyway, I go with a shiver. How do you do that? Maybe like that. Okay. Anyway, I don't use a snap. Why? Because when there's too much of this, there's a lot of entangling here and there. I hate it. So I use a shiver. Then this is just my main line. So I normally use a braided main line. On this reel I use a 10 pound because it works perfectly fine. 20, 30, you can choose your own, you know. Prefer 10 for this reel and this setup because it's just a 5 feet. I'm just whipping and pitching all my baits around. Then okay, so actually there's just 2 easy knots that you need to learn for pond fishing. So over here you can see there's a loop. So basically I just tie a loop knot. Okay, a loop knot. Just put a loop and loop. We're not going to talk about the rigs and how to tie. This is not the knot tying session. We can do that another time. So we just tie a loop, then we just loop through the shiver. Then here we can also have a loop, but sometimes I'm lazy. I'll just tie a normal, I don't know what you call it, blood knot. Yeah, blood knot or something. I just put through, then I just do, then I go through the last hole, then I just pull. Okay. Anyway, all these knots didn't fail me lah. You know, I've been using it for 18 years and it still works fine. Then here I also use this. I know some people will go through and then tie onto the metal. You know, I prefer something like that. Yeah, just my preference. Okay, so one of the secrets is a split shot. Okay, so split shot, there's different split shot. There's very, very heavy, very light. Okay, you may not think that in a pond there's current, you know, so you may go for small split shots. So in some places, if you want to park, right, park means you cast the prawn meat or the live prawn to the area. When you want to park your bait, right, try to go for bigger split shot because actually there's undercurrent and there's the pumps will actually create this current. It will still push your baits around, and some prawns, they're very big and active, they'll still pull your baits around. So maybe if the strike zone is there, then you throw there. By the time the current it already go out of the strike zone. So I will still prefer to use a bigger split shot if I'm parking. If I'm spinning, then I will use a small split shot. Why? Because a small split shot will allow the prawn to be more lively and it doesn't sangkut so much like knock on the bottom. Then where the split shot is very important. I think if the split shot you put near to the hook, right, it tends to have not much action. So, and also a bit easy to sangkut because it becomes like a jig head concept. like Hong Kong hook like that. So I don't really like. I put it like in the middle, or sometimes I put it on top. If that plays a lot of sangkut, I want to spin my prawn, I put it on top so that the split shot will pull the prawn out of the sangkut. It won't kena the sangkut. So either middle on top. If I'm spinning it back, means I cast and I crank slow, then I stop, crank slow, I stop. A lot of pause and cranking, I'll do it the split shot on top. Then I try not to put it here, because even if I park right, I prefer the prawn to be like swirling around. The prawn still have action. Okay, so this is a secret that I realized. If you hook the prawn at the last part of the shell, right, the prawn will actually jerk. When the prawn jerk and twitch, that actually antiques the fish to bite your prawn. So it's important not to hook the prawn in the middle, because it actually decrease the action of the twitching, so you actually catch less fishes. Okay, so basically that's just my thought of pond fishing. So if you want to know which pond I fish at and which pond is the one that I prefer the most, you can check out our channel, because there's like 2 or 3 videos on already like Paypond fishing. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, so that you can get notified for the next few episodes. The next few episodes we will be talking about luring and a lot of things like what I first said at the start of the video. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button and I see you in the next episode. I try to keep all the episodes short so that you can enjoy watching and it's not going to be naggy at all. So again, I'm not teaching, this is just my opinion and just my experience, and that's it. There's no right or wrong, and see you again. Bye bye.